You are now listening to Empty Out the Clip.
This is for grandmas that pass knowledge down through stories and songs. Most are not with us no longer. We pay homage to you. Yeah. We pay homage to you. Yeah.
Born and raised in the 2024 in a time way before technology connected us all. I was raised about a click.
All right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Empty Out the Clip podcast, the EOTC. My name is Cams, and I'm here taking over Let's because he rang up sick earlier on, so he can't make it to the pod. So, but nah, man, thanks for coming. I'm here with the boys from the Empty Out the Clip. We got Eddie, the Mad Butcher,
Yo.
and Kaiser. What's up, brothers?
What's up, buddy? What's up, viewers?
You know the Joe's boys. Let's do it. Let's do some shoutouts. Let's go.
Oh, yo, man, got a big shout out here. Shout out to Westside Boxing Crew, man. You know, it's been an awesome year. Soul, Joe, PJ, Alex, Louis, Aaron, and all the other crew at the boxing. So, big shout out to you guys. My LST Usos, Speedy Vaughan, LJ, Sam, shout out to you guys for a good year. Just want to say my condolences to my sister-in-law Stacy. She lost her father not that long ago. So so special shout out to you, Stacy, Don, Jonas, Abel, Ariana, and Sione. Also, I want to say congratulations to these two boys who are graduated and heading to high school. Sapiti's son, Leonardo, and my own nephew, Maccabee. Also want to say congratulations to Sylvia, Preston, and Eleanor for a great year of achievement in their schools. I'm sure their parents will be proud. And lastly, just want to say shout out to all the people that have commented on this podcast throughout the year. Thank you so much for your support. And these last two episodes are for you guys. Seki.
Hey, what's up? Just want to make a shout out to the one and only the Lord Jesus Christ. All blessings to you, all glory to you in Jesus' name for helping us hustle, helping us through the bad times and the good times, but also for helping us and blessing us to heal mentally and physically, especially for men. So as well as females as well, but just want to shout out to all the men out there that's been working hard. The long hours, putting in the grind, putting in the yards, to provide for their family and to keep electricity and clean water going. The reason why I said it because we take that for granted in life. So I just want to acknowledge you men out there. Like I said, much alofas, and God bless your big hearts to keeping that grind going and doing what you got to do. To provide for your wife and your families, as well as your parents as well. So big shout out to you men. Also shout out to Cheyenne and Dalfa, as well as the Real Men Brotherhood. Shout out to you guys as well with your journeys, and it's not easy, and stay in there as long as we have those support groups out there in the community for men. And then I believe they will overcome your individual personal demons or whatever you want to say. So rebuke all the negativity in Jesus' name, but always promote the positivity in Jesus' name. And God will love and trust our minute. And finally, shout outs to our families and our kids for hustling at school and trying to do the best with their results. So shout out to you kids in that, wherever you are around the world. And shout outs to the mothers and for being the strong woman and the great woman behind men, behind your kids. Man, they're the backbone. They're the head of the family, in my opinion. So I look forward to all you females out there to keep the family together and keep that man in his place and in his lane, and keeping his eyes forward rather than the left eye to the left and one eye staring forward. So yeah, shout out to all you females, man. Big hearts, big hearts. Thank you for being great. It's me.
Sure, boys. Yeah, man. So on social media, man, a lot of parents they with their kids finishing school, end of year, and so proud to see the smiley faces on these parents and their captions on their photos. Hey, man, like proud of their kids for making it, finishing school. And excited for them to see what the kids do the following year, whether they go to work or tech or university. Proud for these parents on social media, showing their kids in the end of school. Yeah, man, make a shout out to the guys at Daily Coffee Shop on Care Road, man, just looking after me and guys from my work all year round. Shout outs to Albert, Eugene, Gong, and Jonah.
Oh, shout
Who
out
looks
Albert,
after us with
Eugene,
the,
Gong. We'll see you soon.
with the coffee, man. Number one coffee in New Zealand, man. I'm gonna say it, man. Yeah, man, and shout outs to all the listeners to the West Network, everyone that finds our podcasts on our website, www.westwestnet.com. Also find us on our social media, West West Network social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it, man. We're everywhere. Thanks to all you listeners out there and everyone that reads our stuff on our website too. All right, boys, man. It's been a busy week, man. It's countdown to Christmas, man. Like everybody's hyped up. Everybody's getting ready to finish work. Everybody is. Maybe the mothers are getting stressed for Christmas and the presents and organizing whose family's going to be at to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner on Christmas Day. Are we going to the beach or what? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Stressful time, man, but exciting time because, man, I got one more week of work and then I'm out next week, so looking forward to that. But just come to you guys, man. How's your week been? Start with you, Eddie.
Man, my week it's heating up, man. There's a lot more orders coming in. We just got a second load of like turkeys that arrived.
Ooh.
So sending that all up, man. Konka, man. Turkeys, man. Damn, yeah. We got big orders of ham. So like companies, they do big, large bulk orders for their Christmas breakups and stuff like that. So we're doing that. Raffles, like end of year stuff for a lot of businesses and companies. So usually we get that all done by hopefully midway through this week, and then after that it'll be personal people buying their stuff for home. So yeah, just get that. We were a little bit short staffed on Saturday. So I had to fill the shop, jumped in the shop, and I left one of our senior butchers to look after my department. And man, like, it was just crazy. Like, I'm trying to fill up, but people ask questions, and like I always try to help them and get them the best stuff for their home. So I can slowly feel the strain and the stress of it all because Christmas has always been expensive. And I think this year the rate of the cost of living is pushing it a bit much. Like yeah, so shout out to all the people that keep calm out there on the roads and stuff when they come into the shop because it makes a big difference for my staff especially. So it's been a hectic week. But yeah, once Christmas is done, man, can't wait for a little bit of a rest. But yeah, I've been doing some super long hours, man. But yeah, how about you, Chucky? How's your week been?
Yeah, can't complain, brother. I mean, the hustle's real, right? The hustle never stops. So, on a positive note, I can't say it online, but let's just put it this way: probably the last deal I made was just this morning. So, it's been a hectic week, hectic few weeks. Hit a brick wall Monday and Tuesday, but then came out of the trenches, brother. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Early hours this morning, I was like, shit. And my phone just went off just now, so apologies about that. But that's what I mean. The hustle never stops. So, like I said, it's a blessing in disguise. And you got to do what you got to do, eh? So, the bad days, I'm good. The good days, I'm even better. And even the stormy days, that's where I perform my greatest. My man. So for all you viewers out there, man, just keep moving, eh? You got to do what you got to do. You're in trouble if you stop. So what is a bad day? Well, it depends on you. It depends on you. So like I keep saying on our quotes, on our cheap quotes, boys, or especially me, my cheap quotes, is hey, without struggle, there's no progress. Without progress, there's no struggle. Have a think about that. Never stop, because once there's struggle, you're in trouble if you stop and do nothing about it. And it's even more bad when you don't make use of that time, because when you struggle, that's the time. And when it hits, and when the storm hits bad, I'll be honest with you, that's the time where you really, the minutes and the times you gotta push hard. That's the time to do it. So just a little life hack, life experience, man. You know what I mean? And if you get locked up, bro, don't ever say that you heard it on here. Don't ever say that you heard it on any other clip, man. So yeah. But by saying that, man, can't complain, man. It's a blessing. Like I said, bro, just keep moving, keep pushing, man. That's us.
Nice. Also, yeah, man, I've had a pretty good week, I guess. West Network wise, it's been like thinning out because it's end of the year. So the podcasts have been dropping off for the season. The NRL is finished, so no more NRL until next year. Same as our rugby union podcast. But yeah, man, just happened to still doing the Channel 135. So me, Eric, and Bob, sometimes Stacey's been jumping on to review the TV show Pluribus that's on Apple TV. So I think it's 2 more episodes to go, and then it's done. So 2 more episodes of Channel 135 before we end for next year. And yeah, man, just producing the MT of the clip. This will be our second to last episode of the year, since Lady's away sick. So yeah, we'll be back with part 2. So just for your information, this is part 1 of a 2-part podcast for our Christmas, end of year Christmas episodes. So this is MTL Clip part 1. Part 2 will be next week, and hopefully we'll be back on board. Yeah, man, just doing that, which is exciting. Work has been work. Been doing this shitty job, man. I told you guys last time I was on here, but I think it's still a shitty job. But I think the hot days in the summertime and the close to Christmas and the vibe is making it softer, you know. You know, so I'm excited for taking a break, man, 3-week break, and just relaxing. So yeah, man, just all that negative stuff from work is in the back of my mind now. So even though I'm still in the shit, but it's in the back of my mind. So I'm grateful for Christmas holidays. Yeah, man, just winding down, and yeah, man, saving some money too, because it's end of year. We're getting shouted at work, because all these reps are coming with the Christmas stuff, and it's like, we're gonna shout you guys some lunch. So I'm happy to have like 3 days of free lunch last week. So, so extra money for the pocket for Christmas, man. So appreciate everything I get. So that's all good too. So just adding on to the positivity that's coming for the week.
Amen. That's it.
Yeah, man. Sweet boys. So we're gonna get into our topics now, but we're gonna do something a little bit different. So on the chat, our group chat. So let's ask for each of us to come with a topic each for the next episode. So each of us did come with a topic. Topic 1, we're gonna do Chucky, your one. It's off a back of a video from Tommy the Cowboy, which is a Samoan dude. So he's a content creator. He's got a social media page that he used to. I remember him in the beginning when I used to watch him. He used to do these skits, these skits, these comedy skits from his job, because he's working in the mines. Yeah. He's driving big, heavy machinery. If you know people that work in the mines, they get paid a lot of money. There's a lot of money to be made there. He's part of that crew that works there, so it's pretty good insight into how the lifestyle over there. If you have family that work over there and what they get up to, and what sort of lifestyle it is. But it's a good insight into that. But then, you know, he's getting into more political stuff now, And one of the videos that you put up for us to watch, I'm gonna play it right now, and yeah, we'll just see what he has to say.
This comment here. I'll give you some hard truths. It'd be my own people that hold me back and put me down. It'd be my own people that tell me I'm not Islander enough. Same as my missus. It'd be her own people telling her she's not Aboriginal enough because she doesn't live in the community. I'm not Islander enough because I don't live in the islands. People that I grew up with, my own people, will run me down because I choose not to live the way we grew up and the way they live. I made a decision to go out and make something of myself. There's some hard truths for you. It'll be our own people that try to pull us down. No, it doesn't matter what I do. You get a good job, a good paying job in a higher position. Our own people will have something to say, oh, look at this fella, trying to be a black fella, trying to be a white man, blah, blah, blah. Usually comments like this come from low-lifers who fuck all with their life, asking for handouts and money and never actually doing anything. You know, the truth is, sometimes that's why I feel slack going around my own people, because that's all I get, this shit. But don't get me wrong, I still get love. I get a lot of love from my people, but the like-minded people. But yeah, these comments here, all it shows me is that you don't want to move forward. All you want to do is fucking sit in a circle, hold hands and cry about the past. That's why you get nowhere. So how's that for some truth? Stop blaming everyone instead of yourself. Maybe if you actually looked at yourself and took accountability, you'd actually get somewhere in life. How's that for some truths? There's some truths that I know some of my people agree with and some of you won't admit and won't agree to because you know I'm right.
Oh, my man. Yeah,
So some heavy stuff there. Hey boys.
heavy stuff. Good chat too. Heavy stuff.
Yeah. So you brought this to our attention, Chuck. So
Oh, did it?
explain the story.
Oh, oh, put on the spot there, mate. Yeah. I mean, Tommy the Cowboy, a funny guy. Yeah, he's a content creator. He used to work in the mines as a fly-in, fly-out worker. So I think he's, yeah. So he's based out in Queensland, Brisbane North, I think it is. I mean, I think there's another video because there was another also that had his opinion on top of what he was saying. But some of the comments on there were pretty brutal towards Tommy the Cowboy. I mean, if your viewers have viewed that already, comment down below what your opinions are because it is a touchy subject. I mean, I can relate to what he says in regards to his own personal vendetta on what he's done. I mean, but then when he's getting comments, they're more so personal comments attacking his character and who he is. He dresses like a bogan, he looks like a bogan. He probably is a bogan then, you know what I mean? But he is Samoan, right? So to my understanding, he does know his Samoa, and good on him for choosing the life that he lives. To me personally, I think his reaction on this video is more so a reaction towards the people that are personally attacking his character, you know what I mean? So I think he has every right to make that video and have his opinion in that. But my opinion to all Samoans around the world, wherever you are, it doesn't matter, if you live the Samoa way or a little bit or half or a quarter, wherever you plant your seed around the world or wherever you lay your hat around the world, man, you're Samoan, so that's even better. That's enough as it is, you know what I mean? And the way you choose how you want to live is your choice. It's not anybody else's but yours. So I congratulate the man, the also himself there, for putting his opinion out there and doing well. And living the way he wants to live. So, but coming back to him saying that, we're holding on to the past and Samoans that are holding on to the past do nothing for Samoa, to move forward as a nation. I mean, and then sitting in a circle, holding hands and crying about the past, I mean, that's your opinion, brother, but all the other stuff, that's your own personal reaction against your own comments or whatever they're getting towards you. But my opinion, to be honest, the people that I know and admire, they don't sit in a circle and hold hands and cry about the past. The people that I admire are teachers. The people that I admire are our grandparents, our parents. The people that I admire are politicians that represent Samoa. In America, in New Zealand, Australia, not just in Samoa. The people I admire are sports coaches, policemen, literatures, professors, uni historians, even the wise gangster. Those are people that I admire. Why? Because it's our duty as people of Samoa wherever we are around the world, to share and to educate and to never ever forget our past. Why? Because that is part of us as Samoans. That is part of our Samoan history. There's not one nation around the world that's faced adversity that has forgotten about their past, but they have educated. Why is education important? Because we need to educate our next generation to breed the next greatest and the best leaders of Samoa. Are we supposed to hold hands and cry about the past? No, of course not. But we can educate, and we must never forget. Because once we forget, as a nation, once we forget, you cannot move on as a nation. Once we forget, our grandfathers, our ancestors, our grandparents, our ancestors, those stories will be deleted, and then colonization has done their part, because that's colonization. See, I can't even say it. English is not my first language, but that's colonization, right? Once we forget history, Samoan history, and what's happened, and adversity, that's what's happened to Samoa, then colonization has done their part, because that's what colonization does. It deletes who we are. It deletes us as a nation. And then we're supposed to adopt the colonization way of life. Now, if we don't educate our next generation people of Samoa, then we lose. And then we give into colonization. So, Tommy, brother, also, I hear you. But when it comes to, like I said, holding hands and crying, the ones that admire me and the ones that are going to teach our next generations, those are the people that I admire, the ones that I mentioned. And also know this too, our grandparents told us these stories. Our great-grandparents lived through those adversities, and our grandparents were kids and they lived through that. They had to see the bodies, 1918, of the huge epidemic that was brought over from I think it's the
Spanish influenza.
Yeah, the boat to Tulani, I think it was 1918. Anyway, it departed from the Odahanga Wharf, and it had a boatload full of people carrying the virus. So I believe they stopped in Fiji and Tonga, but then when they stopped at ported in Samoa up here, in a week they lost thousands. In 2 weeks they lost a quarter of our population, or 1/5 of their population. Whatever it is, Google it up, it's on there. But we had stories of our grandparents telling us that the word got out for the villages, churches, and churches. Put your loved ones out there like rubbish. Cover them with a sheet, and there'll be a farm tractor coming around to pick them up around the island. Now, are we supposed to forget that and move on? There's no way we can move on, brother, because it's part of our history. Whether it was Germany, Samoa, whether it was American Samoa, or whether it was New Zealand, Samoa, underneath the Queen and Country. We cannot forget that. Hey, once we forget, like I said, we're colonized. Because that's what colonized means. It means forget who we are, who our roots were, and adapt, the colonized way. My man. So touchy subject, comment down below, man, because I know it's a big chat, what you guys think and what you guys say. But that's what I believe. There's no nation around the world that forgets about the Anzac, that forgets about Gallipoli, that forgets about World War One, World War Two. Come on, buddy, it's education. The only way we can breed the next great leaders is if we educate our next stock to be great. And like I said, Helen Clark, I think it was in 19 something, it's on the line anyway. She apologized for that epidemic and whatever New Zealand was and all that, doing the shooting as well. Like I said, during those times of colonization, our best leaders grew and rised. We fell, but then we rised. Yeah, with the Mao movement, Tamasese, our independence, that is all part of history, my man. You cannot forget that. Just educate. We're not hating. We're not having a cry. But those are the people who I admire, our teachers, our grandparents that tell the story, that educate our next generation, our university historians. They all Samoans, my man. The policemen, like I said, the wise gangster, as well as the teachers, the coaches. We all play a part. It's our duty to pass the educational system on, our history on to our Samoan people, our Samoan kids, so that they can grow and then pass it on, man. Let it be known. Light the flame and say his name, my man.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said, Us. Like, this video in particular, I think he was responding to a comment by a guy called Dark the Great, who was accusing Tommy of having a colonized mind and ideology, and yeah, that's why Tommy responded with the video we just watched. In some way, I think Tommy is right. You know, as a people, we do have our downside, like you know, especially with Afghanis, we do tend to bring people down that are successful, like Mele Hofanga, The Rock, you know, like people in celebrity status, and we always say, oh, they're not pronouncing this right, but you know, we always like crabs in a bucket mentality. Like I get that, but some of the stuff he said, like the hard truths he said, um, yeah, in my opinion, some of it was a bit harsh, a bit too harsh. Like what you mentioned, like low lifes asking for handouts. I've had family that have asked me for handouts, and you know, from Samoa and whatnot. And I try to do the best I can. I mean, I'm not well off as well, and you know, I've even myself, I've asked for help, and I've been lucky enough to have people that have helped me out. So for him to say that, kind of like it's the individual above the clan, whereas in Samoan culture we always put the clan above the individual. So yeah, that one was a bit of a mixed message. And then he said, sit in a circle, hold hands, and cry about the past. And yeah, I agree with you. So, I mean, yeah, Australia will never forget about what the Anzacs did. America will never forget the world wars and the sacrifice their soldiers did. For them to remember kind of makes them stronger in a way. You know what I mean? To remember the past gives you a stronger sense of history of where you're from, and what you stand for, and what those traumas throughout history have brought our people to. And like you mentioned, the Spanish influenza, even the Mao movement and the peaceful protests that caused the death of Tamasese, but also like how they just divided up our country as well. You mentioned that as well, so thanks Jules for mentioning that. But yeah, like that's the past, but then it's kind of like it's still happening. We had the Dawn raids, which happened recently in the 80s and 90s.
Exactly.
We had the measles outbreak in Samoa a few years ago, which killed 100 and something kids. And then now we're facing one where a New Zealand warship has sunk and is leaking diesel into our ocean. So the trauma's still there. But you know, when you go to Samoa, no one really like cries about that stuff anymore. Like a lot of Samoans have moved on, and they travel to New Zealand, Australia, and become like citizens and work hard. But they still remember it. You know what I mean? It's still in their hearts, but it's not something that we bring out all the time. I think because Tommy's been political lately, I think he's starting to get like the extreme political sides attacking him. So yeah, because I do agree with a lot of stuff that Tommy says. It's common sense, really. But when he's replying to a comment, it's like instead of replying like accurately with like a sniper rifle, the man came with a shotgun, and I think a lot of us Samoans are caught strays and ahead a bit. So yeah. I agree with a lot of what Tommy says, but yeah, the man should have got a sniper rifle and just book you the guy. But nah, he used a shotgun and he got some of us with the strays. So no, I enjoy his content. Yeah, but yeah, I think with the whole like let go of the past, in a sense, he's right, but also we have to acknowledge it. I remember one guy said, to move forward, we must first at least acknowledge the past. So it's like for us to make footsteps, you know, it's not the destination, it's always the journey. That makes the person the person. Yeah. So keep doing what you're doing, Cowboy. But sorry, please don't catch us in your straits, please.
Yeah.
Yo, sick.
Yeah, I find that was an interesting take by Tommy the Cowboy. His sort of retort to that comment, like, you're right. Like, he fired a shotgun and we got some strays, because that part of his comment about, forgetting the past, moving on. The first thing that comes to mind is that colonization mentality, right? They come over, change us, and they say, "Oh, don't worry about the past. This is a better future for you guys. We'll just move on. Don't worry about your past, because nothing came out of it. Because we took over. Now it's the Western world. This is the better way of living, right?" So I think that's generally what colonization's trying to do, right? So, but it doesn't mean that you can take best of both worlds, right? And I think what Tommy the Cowboy has done, he is living the best of both worlds. He's true to his culture. He's Samoan. He's proud of being Samoan, because you know that because of his content in the past. He's got, he loves his culture, so there's no denying that. But he is in an industry where you make a lot of money, and the Western world is a capitalistic society, right? You have to climb the ladder all the time, and that's like the Western world of living, right? You climb the ladder, you step on a few heads and get to the top, right? Whereas, our culture, you don't step on anyone's heads. Everyone helps each other up, right? So you either play the game or you don't. So it's a conflict to our way of living, right? Like, if we go back to Samoa and live in a village, we can live happily ever after. Live off the land, family nearby, we can grow old and happy. Do you want that lifestyle, or do you want to live in New Zealand, Australia, and try and make you some money, live that lifestyle, right? So I think it's a bit harsh, him talking about how, forget about the past. It's not going to work for us people, because our way of living is not the way the Western world does things now. You're not going to... Is he trying to say we're not going to move ahead with our way of thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he's trying to say. So I don't think that's true.
Exactly.
We can do both. We can find a way to have the best of both worlds, right? And teach these Balangis, like, you can't destroy our whole culture, because some of our stuff helps you too. I think it was unfortunate what Tommy Cowboy said in his rant there. I think he was emotional about that guy trying to get back to the guy, and he was just thinking about how he lives, right? How he lives, But in saying that, I don't deny his love for his culture.
Definitely.
I think when he talked about forget the past because you're holding hands and all that kind of stuff, he's talking about, I think, the woke people, right? He's talking about them, like, they don't do nothing. People like that don't do nothing for the culture. They just complain, But it's not just Samoan people, island people. It's Balangis too, right? And there's a lot of it on social media, even the younger generations. I'm sure he works in an industry where there's a lot of labor, a lot of hard work, who labor hard, and they get the younger generation to start work. They don't do shit. And it's like unbelievable that they can't carry a box of tools.
The basics.
The basic stuff. Because there's that younger generation got no, no experience of life skills growing up during school.
Common sense,
common sense stuff. So I think there's a bit of that in it, in his in his rants of his experience and all that. But man, that's
he's basically like what we, like, most Samoans aspire to. He's got a family, a wife, loving kids. He's got a really hard working job, and he's earned a lot to get himself in that position where he's got a house. And every Samoan should aspire to do that. That's the thing. And I get that he's in that position, but the thing is, I think he's slowly getting attacked by people who are of our culture, attacking him for having a colonized mind, and that's wrong. We should aspire to be like that, like 100%. And like, I think when you applied, that's when we all caught strays, like even the people that love them, like caught strays.
But that's playing the game, right? He played the game. He played the Western game. And if you play the Westernized game, if you play the game and you stick to the rules and you climb the ladder, you do everything right, you get to that position without complaining, by working hard and all that, and being smart.
Well, that's the that's what the Western countries provide for our people, is the milk and honey. I mean, the offers there, then they welcome us to do that, but we also welcome them to our lands as well. But like I said, I think when I was saying it's not a personal attack from our opinions towards Tommy the Cowboy. It's more so it's more so I think his reaction was to the narrative people that they're calling him, some harsh, real colonized comments, and they're throwing it back at him. And I think his reaction was a reaction towards them more so. But I think for me personally, I admire him, for putting in the hard yards and getting the milk and honey and living the life that he chooses to live. Good on him. I applaud him, because we're all doing that at the end of the day. And like I said before in other podcasts, if you choose to be lazy, then you choose to be poor. Let there be a guideline for every man. You know what I mean? And like I said, this guy right here, this Uso right here, is most definitely doing his thing and putting his hustle on. So respect to him. But like I said, I think a lot of reactions from comments that saw his video are just hitting his character. You know what I mean? And it's just him reflecting off that and giving it back. Like you said, Cams, emotionally. But with my comment, it was just based on, hey, look, the people that I know and that admire me and that admire plenty generations before me and after me, our grandparents, our parents, teachers, of all Samoan descent, and keeping our history alive, because it needs to be educated, it needs to be shared, it needs to be taught to our next generations, because that's what's going to breed, the mana, you know what I mean? Our leaders, like through those adversities, through that era that our people lived through, the best leaders came out from that. The Maliatoas, the Tamaseses, we can't forget that. We honestly can't. Like I said, we don't forget World War I, World War II. When we're in school, they teach that. You know what I mean? They teach the New Zealand history, Australian history, whatever it may be, the Commonwealth history. So for us, it's Samoans, we can never forget as a nation. That's what's going to keep us stronger, for generations to come, man. And like I said, if we forget it, then colonization has done their job. My man.
Nice. So, boys, that was a good rundown on that one.
Shit, man. Someone bring out the whiskey. My man.
Yeah.
Let's get some tequila. It's Christmas time.
Need a shot. Need a shot after that.
Shit.
Sticking to Australia, Eddie, you had a topic for us.
Oh, yeah. So my topic is a hypothetical question. Hypothetical, sorry. And my question is, how would New Zealand look like if Australia wasn't an option? Like, if we didn't have the free visa work over there, if we had to apply for immigration and it was a lot harder, like it was strict conditions similar to like how Japan is. And so basically the option of going to Australia was not available for New Zealanders. So how would that look like? And I brought up this topic because I wondered, like, what would New Zealand look like? So I had a quick think about it. I reckon would have like a larger population, especially with young working force. So a lot of our brain drain that went over there, our nurses, our doctors, our police, our builders, they'll all be back here. So I reckon we'll have a younger working force. I reckon we'll have stronger regional towns because of the population boost. We'll have a younger age profile. So our age profile at the moment is aging, and we're not replacing with kids, we're replacing with migrants. With a bigger tax base for the government, so that means government facilities would have more money to spend on what we need around the country for infrastructure. Pacific communities, I reckon, would be a bit stronger. We wouldn't have split families across two countries. All the young ones would be able to see their grandparents without having to travel over the ditch. So I reckon, the downside would be like there'll be strain on our infrastructure initially, but with our population growth and our builders coming back, hopefully that will nullify that. The problem would be with our seasonal workers wouldn't have the opportunity to come here to earn money. But I reckon would have a better rugby comp here, an NRL comp here. Yeah, our sports teams will be a lot more Kiwi based. You know what I mean? Like we wouldn't have to rely on talents coming from Australia to help us out, like we do with Toa Samoa. So yeah, what do you guys think? How would New Zealand look like if Australia wasn't an option?
Damn, boy. If we didn't have automatic visas to Australia, right? Yeah, that's a good chat, bro. That's a real good chat. In my opinion, I would think that we'll be 10 years behind everybody else. Yeah. So and then Tommy the Cowboy wouldn't be talking like a bogan. But so but by saying that, yeah, just send that deal of automatic visas to Samoa. Give them the automatic visas so they can come clean sweep over here rather than giving those better options to migration first. So sign the dollar line, New Zealand government, and give our people Samoa those free visas to come straight over, my man. Yeah, we've helped the labor force over here. We've contributed in every way. So let's get back to the chat. So
Yeah.
I reckon that yeah, good point. What Eddie just said. Yeah, we would actually be better. You know, as in growth and population. There's a lot of towns that are empty now up and down the country. You know what I mean? Up north is getting a bit scary too because a lot of their farmers are moving overseas for more milk and honey, right? In Australia. So also down the line, there's a lot of ghost towns now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I reckon if the population still stayed here, we have some of the best talent overseas. You know, with technology, with engineering. You know, with doctors. You know, with the nurses and that, and then for them to bring all that back here to help with the economy back here in all different sectors, that would be magic. You know what I mean? We'll actually catch up to the rest of the world, because let's be honest, man. Auckland City, you know, I'll always speak highly of where we live, right, boys? You know, Auckland City. That's where we migrated to. It's where our parents migrated us to for milk and honey. But it's a small city, and it's way behind everybody else in the world. It closes too early when our city should be open 24/7 like the rest of the world. You talk about Super City or the Sky Tower, my man, that's a little pin compared to to other countries in Asia and their super cities and all that, as well as the Western countries as well. So all I'm saying is that we can do better than that for Auckland. You know, not just for Auckland, but for other major cities like Christchurch, Wellington, and all that. You know, man, there's still a lot of potential here, but I believe that our development's still very slow. You know, to catch up with the rest of the world, man. So I reckon if we didn't have those visas, yeah, and then man, I reckon, man, the best of the best will come out from New Zealand of all different migrations, and to help build New Zealand as a super country to compete against the rest of the economy. Yeah, especially in technology.
Yeah, I think it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome if Australia had that rule from the start, you know, and Auckland will be a much more populated place right now, and there will be a lot more businesses, a lot more opportunity for businesses to make money because there's more mouths to feed, more people need stuff, need more housing for these people, and it will gradually grow. You know, there'll be a lot of building jobs for people. We talked about it before we jumped on the mics, but from a government perspective, a lot of tax money will be coming in, which means a lot of services will be out there. Maybe, you know, the rail link would have finished a long time ago. You know, a lot of money for infrastructure to cater for that amount of population. So, yeah, man, I reckon it'll be a better country for that. You guys talked about other places around the country that needs population. You know, empty towns. You'll see a spillage of people coming out from Auckland because there'll be just too many people. If you think about Australia, if you think about the United States of America, if you think of New York City and LA and all the other cities in between, these are like bigger than Auckland City, right? So imagine just choosing where you want to go. Like you got like 50 states, you got 50 cities to choose from, and it'll be like a big city, you know, there's work there. Like, you know, everybody's in Auckland because Auckland is the biggest city in New Zealand, and everyone comes here for work, right? Imagine if Auckland City was in Christchurch, Wellington, Whangarei, or in Tauranga, like if those cities were as big as Auckland, we could choose where to go if we wanted to, because there's work everywhere. So it'll probably, I don't know if New Zealand will ever be like that, maybe in 50 years time, but it seems like everyone's coming here to go to Australia, right? So in Australia, still looking for people to come over. They're still enticing people to come over to make more money in Australia because they need more workforce. It's a big country. That country like Australia has a lot of resources, a lot of mines going on because a lot of minerals to be sold. The economy is huge over there. They need the workforce. A lot of Australians don't want to do the bum jobs. That's why the islanders are going over there, right? And there's a lot of work, a lot of money to be made, a bigger economy. And they're just draining New Zealand, if it feels like, and the cost of living is going up here. Businesses are shutting down. So, there's a lack of people with money to pay for stuff, right? So, yeah, I think it will be better for New Zealand if Australia had that rule. Maybe there won't be no more 501s because of that law, if that law was around. But even so, like, with every pro, there's going to be a con, right? And what does that look like? A lot of people, what does that say? A lot of people means, I don't know, a lot of people pushing in line. A lot of people pushing in line. What else does that mean? A lot of townhouses, cars on the street, traffic jams. Need more roads, like everything, man. Like we need more stuff. Maybe more shopping malls. I don't know where people to go. Transport will be, man. North Shore will be screwed, and there's no train going over to the North Shore. You'll be screwed over there. But maybe on the positive side of things is like for more people. You know how nowadays to build a house you need building consent, might need a resource consent, or the bureaucracy it takes to get your permits and all that. Maybe with a lot of people, all that will go away because it's too hard. Because people need to build their houses and stuff, like all that red tape will disappear. Because I think the reason why there's heaps of red tape now because there's not many people here. The systems and processes can handle this amount of people. The 4 million people that live in New Zealand now. Imagine if there was 8 million people, 10 million people that lived in New Zealand. These rules will have to change, right? They have to make these rules much easier for people to start a business, to get things done. So I think that's a positive there. But yeah, man, it's a good dream, I guess.
Well, yeah. So by saying that, I mean, just based off the chat, like the old saying, right? Many hands make light work, right? So if we had the population, we would have better infrastructure. You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the more government have more money through tax, more money to build the infrastructure.
By saying that, a lot more based Kiwis or whatever, or migration of Kiwis, and that will probably slow down the later migration later on that's come into the country as we see it today. And that way we don't have any fraudulent in voting and licensing systems, you know what I mean? The passports, you know what I mean? Let's get that out there, buddy. Yeah. Let's rip it up right here, right now. And then we'll stop all that bullshit, you know what I mean? So yeah. And a lot of them that come over straight away, they're after that New Zealand citizenship for that New Zealand passport so they can go over to the chain. You know what I mean? Because the New Zealand passport, yeah, New Zealand passport has a lot of value of entering a lot of Commonwealth countries as well as countries like America, Canada. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. Yeah. So I said, shit. So yeah, that's the fluctuation, mate. Just send those visas, man. Sign more, man. Free visas. Sign more. Free visas. To New Zealand, sorry. Free visas to New Zealand. Sign the dotted line, buddy. Yeah.
Nice. Yep. Good chat, boys. Next, we've got my topic. So, man, I watched the P. Diddy documentary on Netflix. The Reckoning. And, man, don't know if you guys watched it, but
Let's
man,
party.
that was shocking. That was interesting. Good insight into the American dream, what you have to do to make it to the top. You know, I spoke of climbing the ladder and stepping on a few heads. Well, this is exactly what this guy did, man.
Bro, that
Exactly.
dude stomped, bro. That dude stomped
Stomped
heads,
on.
bro. He stomped heads, bro. After
But,
that, bro,
yeah,
when
man.
he stomped them, bro, man, use the Vaseline and the baby.
Shucks. Like, the thing I got out of this documentary is I didn't know, but Puff Daddy, he's a monster. He is a monster, man. He's not a good person. This documentary told all the bad stuff about him. It's interesting because it's produced. Well, one of the producers is 50 Cent.
50 Cent, yeah.
And we know 50 Cent's got a grudge against P. Diddy all these years, man. Like,
The man.
Gotta
man
love that dude.
came
He's
out
ripping
cash.
at the pot, eh?
He cashed in
Yeah,
the check.
man.
he cashed in the
cashed
check,
in,
man.
that's
Cashed
it.
in the check.
The hustle's real, bro. Damn, love that shit. Love that shit, bro.
You know, but nah, man, I want to get you guys' thoughts on the documentary before I chime in. Start with you, Chucks.
Yeah, man, I inspired to be like a guy like 50 Cent, man. He's one of the guys I admire, man. Just put that shit out there, rip it up, man. Let it be known, you know what I mean? And then cash it in. Yeah. So, yeah, man, shout outs to 50 Cent, man, for putting that up on Netflix and then telling it like it is, because I'm sure he's got footage and recordings, and of course he's experienced, you know what I mean? The P. Diddy thing, you know what I mean, from day one. So I think he's smart to do it this way, you know, without causing, you know, wars or whatever like this, you know, in the background. Because I think he knows as well that P. Diddy is a dangerous guy. And but by saying that, I think 50 Cent is even a more dangerous guy, so he can back it up. So defensively, so yeah, it's funny enough. It's funny enough. I didn't know you guys were gonna put that on the chat today, but I watched it just last night. Yeah, and it was I'm still fresh in the mind. You know what I mean? One sick puppy, one sick puppy, man. P. Diddy, bro, you have been exposed, you freak. And I think I think his younger days he was a little bit more humble, but then the producer that he was working for, there was a big name in New York, right? When he fired him, he actually actually created P. Diddy. Actually created. When he got fired, he was so distressed, he was so emotional, you know what I mean? And then that day was born P. Diddy himself. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So, and then he gave him that. He released the contract, which was the artist, Biggie Smalls. And then look at them, man. They just went viral away, man. You know what I mean? And P. Diddy just ripped that apart, promoted him every way that he could, and even jumped in this video. That was weird. I remember that day back in the days. I was saying, shit, who's this other guy? Not even knowing that was his producer. And I thought he was a rapper. But I was thinking when he did start spitting out lyrics, I said, bro, this dude shit, he's mud. And then obviously we know now that's his manager and producer, yeah. But by saying that, a dangerous man, a dangerous man who loves money. So when you get somebody who loves money that much, he'll do everything and anything to rob you just for a penny. How about that, lads? Hey, yeah. Comment down below, boys. Comment down below.
Exactly, that's a good take, man.
Yeah, what a greedy dude. Like, there was this one part of the documentary where one of the artists asked him for 100. And he pulled out this fat wad of cash, pulled out 100, and he said, make sure he pays me back. I was like, wow. Wow.
Damn.
But the whole Tupac thing, I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize how connected everything was. But the one that got me was Biggie. So Biggie negotiated a new contract, and then when he died, they changed the pages of the contract. And then Puff Daddy said, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the funeral, make it the biggest funeral. And he made it all about him. Made himself be seen, and every time they had the camera on Biggie's coffin, he was always there. and then only to realize that he actually charged the family for the funeral. Like, he didn't even pay. The family had that secondary grievance of having to pay for the big
that's
funeral.
right. Yeah.
Yo.
Ooh.
But you know what? Ba my Aka was the guy that was paid to fly and have intercourse with Cassie. That man was sitting there like he was a victim. I had to do this stuff. I had to do that. Man was playing the victim card with the different camera angles. He's like, yeah, I was at home and then they'll text me, oh, you have to fly here. I had to fly there. They flew me around the world. It was like, oh, okay. And
where are you a victim of this?
Harder. Like, you're getting paid. Like, that's your job. Who's like, why you complaining? Like, you know, he was like acting like the biggest victim. I was like, hey.
Crazy.
Man, suddenly. That threw me off. But yeah, big eye opener, eh? Like, man.
Yeah.
Like, now the freak offs, solid. But even like he just like when he was like, he doesn't seem like in the right head. Like, he called up Cassie and he goes, oh, I just made 200,000. Yeah. And then he just sat there and it just went blank for ages and like no one said anything. And then Cassie's like, oh yeah, get that money, bro. He's like, yeah, get that money. I was like, yeah, you're right in the head, cuz. He's one of those iPhones in your friend group, that just sits in the corner. And
you reckon he's mentally a little bit mentally unstable?
I think he is, bro.
Or did just everything get to his head, or what? You know?
I think it did. Like, I think like the thing is, like, you know, it's human nature to pursue something that is unattainable. You know what I mean? Or it's just out of your reach. But see, for that money, there's not many things that's out of your reach. So I think he went for like the craziest shit that he could find, just to get that high of like attaining something that's just out of your reach. I think that's what fucking caused the meltdown. I think he's mentally unstable, I reckon. Yeah.
What about the plots and the planning? You know, the plots and the planning of trying to take out artists, such as Tupac and even his own artists, Biggie's at the end of the day. I mean, Tupac, when he came to the studio and all that, and then later on, coming out of hospital and putting another plot against him during the Mike Tyson, after the Mike Tyson big fight, with Suge Knight and that. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? And how do you guys feel about Suge Knight's involvement?
Man, one thing I felt about all that stuff, like, if you watch the whole documentary, like from episode 1 to 5, man, every time, if you look at the history of Puff Daddy and the music industry, throughout this history, there's always someone getting killed. There's always someone going to jail. There's always some bad, fucked up shit happening, man. You know, dramas. Like, and he's always in there, involved somewhere. So, that tells me, is this a coincidence or not? It's just a doing of a man who's just obsessed with money, obsessed with getting ahead and just not taking anyone with him. Because that's what it sounds like to me. And like this whole documentary, and that's what the shocking thing about it. Because I grew up with that music, right? Like, I'm a big Notorious B.I.G. fan. When Notorious B.I.G. first came out, man, I thought, damn, this guy can rap. His lyrics, like the way he tells his stories through his song, his lyrics and that. He was mean, and his freestyles. Like, I love his when he does his battle raps. A lot of his songs are like, this got a song called Unbelievable, and man, the lyrics in that song, just, I can't describe it, man. It's like I never heard anything like it. It's like, to me, like back those days, I thought B.I.G. was the number one. He was, to me, better than Tupac, and because it's funny, because with Puff Daddy, like, I didn't really notice him until he started being prominent in these videos, because I remember him being in the background in Juicy, but I never thought anything of it. He was in the background in Big Papa in that video, and that's when I first started to see, I know that guy. He was in the other video. Who is that guy? Is he like Biggie's his bumboy or something? He's always in the background, always a song. And then I realized that he's the producer. You know, he's the CEO of Bad Boy Entertainment. You know, he starts to, you know, after Notorious B.I.G. gets killed, he starts to make his own albums. He starts to get in songs with Mace, you know, that kind of stuff.
right,
He gets
yeah,
more
yeah.
famous, right? And I'm like, okay. But I never I sort of knew he wasn't a good artist as a rapper. I thought, man, can a producer be a rapper? And but I'm not knowing that like he's getting other people to write his lyrics, right? You know, so I didn't have a problem with him because I didn't know any of the background, and that's what makes this documentary so shocking to me because it brings up all the bad shit that he's done that I never knew. And so this guy is not just a producer; he's a bloody control freak. You know, he's the boss you don't want to have. Like
Power
he's
trip,
that
you know?
boss.
Power
He's the
tripping.
boss that's on Power Trip. Yeah, that kind of stuff. And like, I love the artists that were on the Bad Boy Entertainment, like 112. I was a big 112 fan. The Locks as well, and Total. Like, man, it just made me think watching this documentary. How did he screw these artists? Right, he must have screwed them bad, eh? Like that's why they're not there anymore, right? They're not there. They're not there anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's like fuck, he screwed all these guys, and that was disappointing for me.
Yeah.
Being a fan of Bad Boy Entertainment and all the artists that came out of that. So yeah, I
But
just got
he had so much talent underneath him, eh? You know what I mean?
yeah, he did.
But
He
when they
did.
first started, they were on a high. But then later on through the journey, you can see the depression on their face later on, eh? Like he abused them. Well, you can tell that he abused them, well, you know, either with no Vaseline or just a little bit of baby oil. You know what I mean? So, man, yeah. Especially the female artists, eh? They must have more stories of this guy abusing them or whatever. You know what I mean?
But this documentary, it does a good job. Like, if you didn't believe anything, if you don't believe that Puff Daddy's a bad person, right? Everyone saw the video footage of him beating up Cassie. So you know, after that footage, it was like, oh fuck this guy. He's like a coward, you know, beating up on the girl. You know, so no one's got any respect for him after that. So he should be burnt after that, right? But if you didn't believe he did any of the other stuff, if he's just a guy trying to make it in the business, because look where he started from. He was poor. He started from nothing. He got to where he is. He's a billionaire. Like, how did he get there? And you look back in this documentary, does a good job of showing you how he gets there through his ruthlessness, through corruption, through screwing other people. Like, even that story about that producer he had, and he made him come to his parties and produce the songs, and he never paid him, eh? He never paid him at all.
Yeah, he never paid him.
It's like, what the hell? Like, you hear that shit, and you're like, what the fuck, man? You know, and they talk about him being a gatekeeper, right? Man, you think about the gatekeepers in New Zealand and the music industry here, all the Balangis, like he's probably as bad as them or even worse. You know, trying to get out people trying to make it in the industries, we can't because we've got gatekeepers to deal with. You know, he's that gatekeeper over there, right? And artists have to like go through him to make it, and he's probably got a big head because of that. So, you know, this documentary like shines a light on a kind of business person he is. He's not a good guy. Shines a light on all the negative stuff he's done, all the bad shit he's done, the corruption and all that. It's shocking to me that, you know, he's done all this shit, and I feel sorry for the artists that I loved back then. I feel sorry for B.I.G. because this documentary makes out that he was behind the killing of B.I.G. and Tupac.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay. But he's in that position. He's done things that happened in his past to get him in this position where you can point the finger to him. All this stuff. If you didn't believe he was involved with the death of Biggie and Tupac, you watch this documentary and you think twice. You know, because he's there in every single one of those bad things that happened throughout the history of his career. So, yeah, it was interesting. That's why I say it was an interesting documentary. It's a shocking documentary. It probably reinforces what we all know after that Cassie video and the baby oil thing. It came out his freak offs and all that. Like, what the fuck, man? This guy, he deserves to go to jail, man. He deserves to get what he gets. Now it's funny because this documentary ends with saying that he got off. He got off, right? But he's got all these other cases coming to him now. All the woman that said that he's sexually abused. Those cases are coming now, and the victim, the escort guy, he said he's a victim. His case is coming.
Yeah.
The producer, he never got paid. He never paid. He's gonna come with his lawsuit. So all these lawsuits are on the way. He might have won the case and he didn't go anywhere in that case, but all these lawsuits are on their way. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Because the sentencing is 50 months, right? But he's only going to be serving like quarter of that. So what justice is that? You know what I mean? Stack it on, man. Those people need to come out and tell you the truth, mate. Tell you the truth.
So, boys, shall we get into some? I know there's a lack of it, but any sports news? I know the NBA is at the semi-finals for the NBA Cup, the in-season tournament. So, semi-finals, first game played today. Orlando Magic versus New York Knicks. New York Knicks won that 132 to 120. So Knicks are in the final for the NBA Cup. And the other semi-final is today at 3 o'clock. Oh, it's on now. Thunder and Spurs. That's the other semi-final. Thunder leading 22 to 10.
Damn, crazy.
Yeah, the only thing I know is what you call the cricket. New Zealand beat West Indies.
West Indies, yeah.
In that test, and AFC's been Auckland FC's been winning a few games lately, so I think they're top of the table. Last I checked, but yeah, that's all I've been getting in sport.
Damn.
There was a boxing yesterday, last night.
Local?
David Nakia.
Which one's that?
David Nakia fought. Hey.
Oh, David Naika.
Naika, what was his name?
David Naika, yeah, the one that Jay Pataya took out, yeah.
Yeah.
How was that one? What was his result? I didn't watch that one.
Oh, I didn't watch it. I just saw he was fighting.
Yeah, I just saw he's wearing a burgundy and white cut for the wife's cancer treatment. Yeah, so yeah, hope he won.
Well, good on him for supporting and his missus and that. So yeah, may God bless them and their healing process. Yeah, so big shout out to him and his wife. Probably more so with NRL. Just to update everybody, all the viewers and that, if you haven't heard already, Big Nelson Solomona has quit the NRL, his contracts and everything with the NRL. His professional contract with NRL, he's quit, and he's a big guy like him at 2.03 centimeters and weighing in at 125 kgs. He's changed codes and now he's a professional boxer who signed underneath No Limit Boxing for 1 year, for one whole year. So good luck to him. Like I said, October 25 is when he announced his retirement from NRL just to go professional boxing. Here's a guy though who's since 2004, right, in the preliminaries, Storms against Roosters, one game away from the grand final. He got yellow card, right, for contact above the shoulders in 2024, and then he got suspended for that. So he missed out the final in 2004 with when the Storms made the final, the grand final then. But then 14 to 2005, right, in one of his games, he also got suspended for a high shot. 3 weeks left for the grand final though. So he missed two grand finals with Melbourne Storms. And then like I said, in 2005, 3 weeks left, he gets done again, right? From the NRL review board. So they suspend him again, 3 weeks out of the grand final. So poor dude, he said he lost his passion for the game that he loved and grew up with through club footy and then coming into professional, of course. So I feel sorry for him, but at the end of the day, like any other day, big ups to him for keeping the contact going and signing over to No Limit Boxing. So now he's a professional fighter. I mean, hey, listen, the way he plays, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's an old school style that he plays. right? And that stuff is really getting toned down a lot every year, right? They got to tone that down, that aggressiveness. So I think in boxing, I think good luck to him because you can't get sent off a yellow card in boxing. But because he's a big dude, wish him all the best with no limit boxing for a year. To be honest, that's not much, but you know, if one limit boxing has 5 promotions in 1 year, you can't seriously tell me he's going to be on every 5. As my man, there's recovery time in between, so I'm guessing that he'll probably be in every 4 at least maximum, and they'll be paying him good coin too, good coin. So good luck to him and all the best for him, man. Tuck down that chin, big fella.
Nice. Comments corner.
Comments corner. Just want to make a big shout out to people that have been on here like a lot, eh? So Volume 49, Westside Okalangi, Oliveira, Daz 387, Skirt, J685 Tor, 0074, Adrian Doherty, KPNZ01, Upanya 5202, Mr. Lips Smack Delicious, Drake Builders, Ave Phils, PD Graham, and apologies if I missed anyone, but thank you for the year, for commenting, and I just want to leave this question for the next podcast, but if you guys want to answer it in the comments for this video, is what has been your best Christmas present and what has been your worst? Seki.
That's a good question. Yeah. I'm thinking.
Is that for next week? Oh yeah.
Oh,
Sick. Okay. What have we been watching? Let's go, Chucky.
What have been watching? P Diddy. And only P. All day P Diddy.
Yeah. All 4 episodes.
All 4 episodes and on repeat. Let me decode this shit. Let me write it back. Let's go back to episode 1. Yeah. What have been watching? P Diddy for sure. And then because I got my nieces around, probably a lot of girl flicks, eh? Driving me crazy, man. Mentally, man. My eyes are going cross-eyed. I said, damn, they make this shit, man. Back in the days, there was some bitter stories, man. These days now, it's just like, flipping, hey, I can't even keep up with the storylines. So, yeah, just a lot of that and a little bit of ghost hunting. Yeah, a little bit of ghost hunting here and there. So I'm always fascinated in that area. But I've been watching a few YouTubes on conspiracy stuff. So, like I was saying, the last party, you know, for our viewers, is the Earth round or is it flat? Am I just drinking a little bit too much tequila? And explain this then. How come the moon, you can still see it during the day? You know what I mean? When the skies is clear blue, you can still see the moon. Man, 100% is right there in front of us. You know what I mean? Here I am looking around and all this and all that. I said, far out, my man. And here I am. It's contagious now because every guy that's next to me, bro, check this out. I'm starting to chop it up with them, you know, make them think. So, like I said, that star, the Paris star, it never moves, and it sits above the North Pole. So if you Google that up, that star never ever moves. Whereas the other stars, they do move locations, because if the world was round, it turns. So those stars, like the Northern Star, you'll see on the other side or this side, whatever side it is. But that Paris star, it stays the same, and it sits on top of the North Pole. My man. And always remember, North, South Pole, whatever it is, it's military protected, and it's a no-fly zone. Yeah, that's me, man.
Yeah.
How about you, Eddie?
Just been watching stuff on like indigenous people around the world. So in Japan, there's a religious indigenous group called the Ainu in the north. Their culture stretches even into that part of Russia. So just reading up on that, and also learning about the indigenous people of Taiwan, the Hakka people. I recently watched a little snippet of them coming to New Zealand for the Indigenous Peoples Conference. And it's weird, man. Like, they look like Māoris. Like, just your normal Māoris, the look at everything. But when they talk, it's like straight Mandarin Chinese because, over the years they've mixed with Chinese and a lot of their language has been lost. But there's a few Hakka speaking people that came over as well. So it was crazy to see like our origins, where we're from, especially in Asia, and coming through the Philippines and into Samoa and establishing the Polynesian culture, especially from the ancient La Pizza people. So it was cool seeing that stuff. So I've just been watching like little docos on that. I watched the ghost video the other day, and man, I don't know. Like, if you're hunting ghosts, you shouldn't be like Fefevale, Because there was these two British guys, and they were in this house, and something moved upstairs, like a can dropped down, and suddenly these guys were running outside, like getting into the kavale. I was like, like, man, you need to find a different job, eh? This is too familiar, man. I was like, nah, bro.
What would you do, Eddie? What would you do if you went ghost hunting or camps? What would you guys do?
I'd start screaming in the name of Jesus. But I wouldn't be in that position in the first place. I'll come during the day.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I will attack. I will attack.
Hey.
I rebuke. But
in horror movies, I love it when the guy or the person fights back.
Oh,
I'm like, yeah, don't be scared, man. Go try knock him.
But in those scenes, like in the movie scenes, when the guy fights back, I hate it when it cuts. And then it's got the bad guy holding the head or something. Yeah, wow.
It's funny you guys say that, because we all need a guy like that when we go ghost hunting, A guy that runs towards the noise and starts fighting whatever's in front of him, you know what I mean? And then we'll say, yeah, but then when he gets okay as his shit, you're going to gap it. We're the first ones to gap it, after the big guys.
I wouldn't even wait for it to be okay. I would start running. I was like, you're the man, Steve. You're the man. Shoutouts.
Oh, man. Sure. At least he tried.
No, man, so just that. And then I think and just a few random music videos. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Me.
Sick.
So yeah, man, just the P Diddy stuff. Watching that, and be watching Pluribus on TV. Apple TV, we're doing the reviews on that on Channel 135 podcast. So tune into that. Now reactions to that series. Good series, man. Good series. If you got Apple TV Plus, I think that's the show that they've got the most views on in history of Apple TV. So it's a popular show now. It is a good show. You should watch it, man. It's good. The Spuribus. I also started watching a show on Apple TV called Slow Horses. It's a British spy thriller TV series. I think they're on season 3 now, but it's been around for a while, but I haven't watched it yet. I tried it the other day. I watched episode 1. It's okay. It's about, MI5, the spy department that James Bond works for in the UK. Well, it's about MI5, but they got the department where they put the agents that have fucked up. Like agents who have fucked up and they've been demoted, and they got a department called Slow Horses, and that's like all the agents that have done something real bad. And they put them there to do all the bumboy sort of jobs. Yeah, the bumboy jobs and that. Yeah, so it's about that. It's interesting. Started watching that. I think I'll carry on. I watched episode 1. It was right. I'll watch episode 2 and carry on season 1. So it's Slow Horses on Apple TV. And also started watching another one on Apple TV called The Changeling, and it's like a thriller, horror, sort of fantasy. It's about a black woman, a black man. They live in Chicago, I think, and it's the guy that stars on that movie Gets Out. You know that movie?
Yep.
And it's the black guy that's like. Not the black guy, the main guy, but the other guy who's taken over by the white man. He's got a hat.
Oh, the farmer guy?
The farmer guy. Yeah. It stars him. So he meets this girl. she's a librarian, but before they hook up, she's gone on a trip to Brazil, and in Brazil she meets up with this voodoo lady, and she casts a spell on her. Sort of casts a spell, like she says, make 3 wishes. She makes 3 wishes in her mind, and she ties a red string around her wrist, and she tells her, if ever the string leaves your wrist, those wishes will come true. So she goes back home, and she hooks up with that guy, and they get married, and the guy notices she's got this string around the wrist, and he cuts it off.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens. But it gets freaky after that, because she reveals 2 of her 3 wishes. The first wish was to find a man and to get married, and that happens. So her second wish was to have a baby boy, a healthy baby boy, and that's what happens. So that wish comes true. But then we find out in episode 1 that the 3rd wish hasn't come true yet, and she's really worried, and we don't know why. But she gets real, like, into she becomes like a psycho. Yeah, and she ends up killing the baby, killing her own son.
Damn.
And that's episode 2. And we don't know if that's part of the 3rd wish or not, but yeah, it gets crazy. So
It's crazy.
but it's interesting because that's episode 2. It took a long time to get there, and it's kind of like a slow burn. And I'm not sure if I want to continue watching the show.
Yeah. On a positive note.
Depressing, it's depressing, man. Yeah, so see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Changeling. That's all I've been watching. So boys, shall we do food review? So I went to 2 cafes. It's not exactly a food review. It's sort of like a service review.
Yep.
So the first cafe I went to was over the shore, and that was the Chelsea Sugar Factory.
Yep.
So they've got a cafe in there. It's pretty cool. They got nice outdoor area. You go in there. Have you guys ever been there? Like they got a nice cafe inside. They got a playground for the kids to play outside. And you go in the back of the factory, and there's the children's playground. And then you go up to the cafe. They got a nice outdoor area. But in the foyer in the cafe, there's like a tour. You can take a tour around the factory. There's displays and all that. But when you go in the cafe, it's nice outdoor area set outside, and you can see the view, the water and the harbour bridge. It's a nice outdoor area. They serve like just normal cafe food. They've got the sweets from the sugar factory, and you can get like chips, burgers, and just normal cafe stuff. If I do a review, I just ordered the burger and chips, and it was just normal. There's nothing fancy about it. But the interesting thing, like the girl that served us, man, she was like I think she was like a supervisor or boss of the girls that do all the serving. And man, she was like feel boss, man. She was like there's like in front of all the customers, like acting like the boss, like telling the workers what to do, like in a way where it's like disrespectful.
Condescending, yeah.
Yeah. And fuck, I was uncomfortable. I was like telling her, hey, just relax.
True,
Hey, bitch, relax. Don't treat your workers like that. Like, man, I feel sorry for the other workers. Like, the way, man, that's what I noticed. And that sort of put me off.
Damn.
I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but man, I did. I was like, bro.
That's that P. Diddy effect, that power trip, Hey, yeah. See, we're learning, P. Diddy, we're learning. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that kind of ruined the experience. But no, man, all in all, that was a good place to have if you're in the area. Go check it out. If you got kids, they got a nice playground for the kids in that. Nice outdoor area to have your coffee and lunch. But man, hopefully that girl isn't working if you guys go. Man. Power tripping.
Tripping hard.
The other cafe I went to yesterday. So went to cafe yesterday in Te Atatu Peninsula. It's called the Servo Cafe. And we got there about 11:30ish. So it was busy inside, but people were leaving. But at the same time, there were people walking in too. They've got the outdoor area. It was full. They got an indoor area that's like against the street. So you go in there. But man, I look around, tables were full, but there were like maybe 3 or 4 tables not still got the dirty plates on there, the cups, and there were like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the back, and there's 2 people at the back of the kitchen, 2 people making the coffees, and 1 girl serving. And I'm like thinking, okay, by the time I order, I want to see those tables clean, and I want to go and sit down, right? But it never happened, man. Like, but as soon as I ordered, right, I looked, and a couple got up from one table, but they never had any cups or plates, so it was a clean. It was clean. So I sat down there, but then I just looked at all these other tables with dirty plates on there. They were there the whole time, man, and people were still coming in. And then I saw a old lady and man walk in, order their food, walk over to a dirty table, and cleaned up that table themselves, man.
Yeah.
I was like thinking, man, that's poor, man. Like, you can't, if you're behind the
real
counter, man.
self-service.
Yeah.
If you're behind the counter, man, in a cafe, you can't let that happen, man. But I don't care how you think it's like, it's busy. You know what? People don't care, man. Customers don't care.
Yeah.
Like, customers walk in, your first thing is to make sure they're seated at a nice clean table. Like, don't make them clean the table themselves. Don't let customers walk in and these dirty tables you haven't even, wiped down.
These days, you don't want the customer going away leaving a bad review, because it doesn't look good for the bizzo. You know what I mean? Do you reckon they were short of staff or?
No, because there was heaps of staff there, man. There was like there was someone in the kitchen cooking. There was 2 people behind the coffee machine making the coffee. And there's 1 person behind the counter. So but what I'm saying is, like, I think the first priority would be to clean those tables.
Yeah.
Like, if you have to leave someone off from the coffee machine to clean the tables, the customers won't care, right? Because they're gonna get their coffee anyway. So, man, just little things like that. I'm just pointing out these little reviews, these food reviews, not for the food itself, but for the service, man. Like, you can't let this kind of stuff happen, man.
What's the cafe called in Te Tiriti South?
Servo Cafe.
Servo Cafe. Shout out to you guys, man. Do better. Do better.
Servo.
Do better. You heard it right here.
That's like why I always try and tell my niece and nephew, like, when we finish eating, like, hey, like at the food court, like, always try and put our rubbish away, like, so that when the person comes out, all they got to do is wipe it, clean,
spray and wipe
for the next person. But for a cafe shop, you can't put all those cups and plates and saucers in the rubbish. So they have to have someone to come and collect a
floater.
A floater to collect the plates and stuff. Yeah.
But those places, those food courts, when you do that, man, most likely people cleaning up as islanders,
as always is.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I always, man, it pulls on the old heartstrings at the food court when I see, it's always the old people that work there that clear the tables.
Yeah.
Man, that hurts me. It's like, man, where's your family to allow you to stay home? You know what I mean? Like, I would never.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Are they customers? The elderly? Are they customers or are they staff?
No, they're workers.
Oh, they're workers. Oh, yeah.
They're always old people that work the tables at Henderson Mall.
Oh, Henderson Mall. Oh, there you go, buddy. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just
shout out to Henderson Mall.
It hits me different.
No, it's so true, bro. Yeah. And that's usually when I see them working, I always go up to them and say hello, let them know how's your day, and then Carlo fire, Yeah, but it's so true.
All right, boys, moving on. Memory lane. So since it's man, I got this idea because I've seen on social media all the parents, their kids finishing school, graduating school and all that. Man, I just want to ask you guys, man, memory lane. Do you remember your last day of school? Start with you, Chucky.
Are we talking about primary, intermediate, or it was about college? Which one, mate? Which one?
We're talking about your last day of school before you don't have to go to school anymore.
We're out to the world is your oyster sort of part.
World
right?
is your oyster.
That's bitch, That's bitch, yeah.
Your last day ever of school.
Oh, man, it's emotional one, bro. It's an emotional one, brother. But oh man, Yeah, I wish I would have finished on a good note, to be honest. But obviously, yeah, I got booted out of college. Yeah, not far from actually graduating. Once that happened, I was like out in the world and yeah, just living it up, buddy. Hey, I was doing the P Diddy parties, bro. Bring on the Vaseline, my man. Yeah, just enjoying life, tasting life, and yeah, just being a butthole all around town. Just doing that thing, and then yeah, then just realizing reality hits that hey man, at the end of the day, you need coin. You know what I mean? You're nothing without a bit of coin in your account. So that's when I started just knuckling down. So my last day of school was probably emotional one because I didn't want to leave on that note. But yeah, I had no choice. But yeah, probably the best years of my my younghood life was school days really, primary, intermediate, and then college. Yeah, probably some of the best memories, probably some of the best days. Why? Because bro, you meet a lot of good people, have a lot of good laughs. You know what I mean? And then yeah, run and make stories, memories, whatever it may be. Meet a lot of good teachers. For me, it was probably few. A majority of other teachers just didn't believe. They said, "Oh, we always need cleaners in this world, so don't be too upset if you fail." So those teachers, hey, those days, you know what I mean? So, but the very few that were genuine were like parents. When your parents are at work, they'll talk to you professionally, but talk to you like with comfort in their tone and their voice. So, shout outs to those teachers. Yeah, you're dearly missed, and thank you for playing a big part in my life through college, my man.
Nice, Luce. Eddie.
Oh man, I think last day of school we were getting like gifts and stuff, like from some of the teachers. The really nice teachers gave us gifts. But yeah, I remember like making sure I signed out everything. Some of the boys would get their t-shirts signed, and yeah, I remember like the last period when the bell rang. It was a bit emotional, eh? We didn't do like the graduation things that you do now. Like all us
True.
boys just kind of walked to Happy Snapper on Lincoln Road and just bought like everyone just chipped in and bought like I don't know, like 10, 20 pieces of fish and chips and all that.
Woo.
There was heaps of us there, and we'll just all just walk around eating. And then I remember I went with some of the boys to do you remember cyber cafes were a big thing back in the day?
Yeah.
So I went to cyber cafes and then playing Counter Strike. I was never good at it, but it was good to play against some of the boys. And then yeah, it was just it didn't sink in until probably like months later. Like because I went to work the next day after school because I worked weekends,
Me.
and then yeah, I think in January I left my job, and I was thinking, oh, I might go uni or pursue stuff, but I flew to Australia to see what it's like over there for a bit, met Graham. So yeah, nah, things didn't really plan out. Came back, worked for multiple jobs. Uh, worked for Youth Town, in
Oh, sick.
Pakuranga. Yeah, nah, and then did a few odd security jobs, and I think it was just like me and the boys were kind of like just feeling out what we wanted to do. Some of us were applying for uni, but I felt stink for them because man, loans, huge loans. So
Yeah.
yeah, nah, last day of school was definitely emotional because I didn't know where I was gonna see some of the boys again because a lot of them were planning on going overseas and uni. So with me working, them at uni, like it was hard for us to try and square a day off. But it's funny, some of the boys I was really close to moved over to Oz, moved away, and some of the boys that were kind of like friends became like my best friends. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
like it's yeah. Nah, big ups to my rugby boys, and big ups to what the boys I have now, because like yeah, it's just yeah, it's funny how like from different circles you become like the best of friends, eh? So
Mm.
we always talk about like the teachers that were weird and some of the teachers that were velea, you know. So I really enjoyed school. Yeah, played alongside a lot of boys because I made like me and a few other boys. We made first 15 when we were only 14. So we went through the years of school growing up through first 15 as well. So now appreciate all the boys I played alongside with. You know, the ones we fought hard in the trenches. But yeah, the last year was definitely emotional. The last day, sorry, yeah. But no, man, always big love for my school, man. Liston College, Seki.
Nice. Thanks for the share, boys. Tell the truth, for me, man, I can't really remember my last day of school, because, man, all I remember is like there was a lot of wagging going on, especially the build up to the last day. Like no one was turning up and no one was coming, no one was showing up to school. And what I remember was, I don't know if it was the last day or, I know I definitely wasn't at school the last day. I didn't show up. I don't know where I was, but I remember. But I remember getting told, like, if no one comes to the last day, you won't get your certificate of that certificate that you end your high school higher learning certificate. You won't get that. So I never got mine because I never showed up last day. But I just remember a lot of wagging. Everyone was just wagging school the last days, and people were planning to do stuff. Like people were going to the beach, taking off, doing something else, like on school day. The final days. I remember me and the boys, we caught the bus and went to town, and we played basketball at a youth town in the city.
In the city,
yeah. We just go play there and catch a bus back home. But yeah, as far as last day of school, like it wasn't a big event, because you know when I think about my last year of school, it was probably my worst year of school. Man.
True.
I like my previous years of school. I love school, but for some reason, my last year of school wasn't that good. I think because I was just mucking around, and just knowing it was the last year, just on my own buzz. Far. Everyone was on their own buzz.
Too many gangers and alcohol.
Probably, I don't know, but yeah, I was just not feeling it. I just remember my last year of school. Just not being motivated and all that kind of stuff, and just finishing was a blur. I think that's why I was a blur, because I just ran with it.
How did you guys feel? How did you guys feel hearing the final bell? And then how did you guys feel out of uniform the next day?
Oh, good question, man. I think I felt because I went straight to Unitech the following year, so that was a big eye opener. Like calling teachers by their first name, no uniform, having adults in my class, having class for 1 hour for one day and going home, and having one class on a Friday. So all that was like eye opener, getting treated like an adult, and just going with it. But again, all that was new. But compared to school, it was way different. Way. It wasn't the same. So I like that idea. I like the idea of going to the Unitech, going to class, and it's a different environment. Being treated like an adult was a different thing.
Independence, get that.
Yeah, independence.
Feeling.
Yeah. So that was a start of a new era, a new world. It was a good transition though, because I think coming out from school, you're caught in that bubble. You just think the world is just school. You haven't seen the real world. So I think transitioning from high school to Unitech the following year was a big eye opener. Like you get to do stuff you never thought you would do, in terms of like being independent. Yeah, because you never were independent. So it was a big. It was a game changer.
Damn. What about communicating? Like how you're in school, right? For all the whole college, you always stick with that one group A. But then when you hear the final bell of school, you finish school, you're out in the real world. How did you guys accomplish mix and mingling with
with groups that you would never ever, or cultures, or you know what I mean, or Palangis or Asians or whatever, outside of your own normal circle that you've known throughout whole college, and you felt comfortable with that circle in college, and then coming out. How did you guys find communication, or how did you guys adapt to that, or mix and mingle with different people, cultures, when you guys were studying, or however it may be, workforce and that? How did you guys find that?
Yeah, with my one, there was like my friend group had many smaller circles within the big group. So I was just linking up with like a few others, and yeah, it was some of the boys that I wouldn't usually hang out with. And then I wouldn't see some of the boys for ages, and then I'll see them like for 3 days in a row. But and it all came naturally, like with my friend group that I have now. Like some were from work, and yeah, some of my close friends are from school. But yeah, a lot of my friends have moved overseas, so it's hard to keep contact with them all the time. We do have one chat. We had to change the name of the chat a few times because it wasn't really PC. But it's that chat's still active now.
Hey.
So I reckon that Facebook chat's probably been around for about 20 odd years. 20, yeah. I'll say about 20 years. Yeah, 2006. Yeah, 19 years. Yeah, so it's still active. But yeah, it's changed names a few times because some of the guys will complain that their missus will see the name of the chat pop up, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
Hey.
yo. So yeah.
I think to answer your question, for me it was when I started working. That difference in culture experience, because at school, high school, mostly all the islanders hung out with islanders, and then when I went to Unitech, I just hung out with the islanders there because there was a few islanders in my class, so no culture experience never changed. Just the age thing changed, because even though I hung out with the islanders in my class, they were of different ages. Like there was adults and even younger guys too. So I just stuck with them. But the cultural thing didn't start until I started working. So my first job was just white people. I was like the only islander in my job, and even now, like the only islander in my job. So I remember when I first started working, yeah, that was a culture shock, man. Not used to working around.
Yeah.
The Balangis in there, like, it's not like I was scared or anything. Not like I was just not used to it. I don't know how to act around them, or act, but it's different. It's different.
Yeah,
they talk. They don't talk like how we talk.
Do you find your communication? Do you find your communication has to suit that environment rather than if you're with the boys, island boys, regardless place, or just in your circle, that the communication level has to change?
Let me
Because
say this.
you know what I mean. Sometimes when we talk Islandering as Islander, it's all good. But then we talk Islander to Balangi or whatever, anything outside of that, that's harassment.
I tell you this though. I tell you this. At my work, when I started working, there's that professionalism. You gotta be like how you talk, communicate. Yeah, you're right. You communicate in a way, but Friday afternoon, when I get a phone call from one of the boys to see what's up for Friday night, what are we doing tonight? The language changes on the phone.
Yeah. Exactly, bro.
The language changes on the phone, so I don't know if I'm like, the boys are like talking to me. Cams, man, why are you sounding quiet?
Cams, why are you talking white?
Hello,
It's
sir.
It's Mingos. It's just me. Are you okay?
Yeah, man. So, yeah, it's different. It's different. We're working with white people is different, man. They're on a different. They grew up not the same, man. It's different.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. It's like yeah, it's not. It's something you get used to. You get used to it. Like when you go to those when we have those functions and that. Like, and I remember in the beginning when I started going to these work functions, it's the mixing and mingling. I wasn't used to. Like, how do you talk to a stranger? Like you just met. Like, what's the conversation like? Like, how do you talk? You know, like, do you talk about like how you get to work, how you drive to work, what time you wake up to get? I don't know, but that's what they talk about, man. They talk about nothing. They talk about everything and anything, and you know, it's normal for them to do that, and so I had to get used to that kind of thing. I thought it was lame to talk about like you just find yourself with a stranger. You gotta actually say some stuff. I don't know what to say. You just gotta say anything.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, man.
I always
But then
mock our
you
stuff,
live and
eh?
learn. You live and learn.
Yeah.
I always mock the stuff because like we got heaps of old white guys at the back room, and some of our drivers are Samoan, so they'll come in and then like we'll be talking, I look at them and it's like, hey, maro swama, and then we start talking Samoan, and then the driver would leave, and then some of the old guy goes, oh, what are you saying? And I was like, he was saying you guys are all assholes. Like I'll do those jokes, and like I think over the years, like a lot of the white butchers, they've started to have that island kind of like mentality and their island vibes. So I think it's good to be professional, but at the same time, it's good for growth when you just joke around. Yeah.
It's
'Cause
funny
now-
you just said this.
Now we mock one of the Nuean chicks, eh? Like this other white guy, eh? She comes in and we're like, I say to the other guy, it's like, bro, I heard there's a KFC opening up on Hills Valley. He goes, oh man, you know, I hope one of our island friends will shout us, eh? And you start pointing at her. Go, yeah, no, you know. And she's like, shut up.
That's the chat for you.
See?
Thank you, boys. Hacks of life. So I know we're into our healthy lifestyle and all that. I just want to ask hacks of life, like, how do you guys deal with staying on track, or when you're on that track, how do you maintain? How do you keep your focus to live that healthy lifestyle? What's your tricks of the trade?
What do you mean overall? Just with fitness, with nutrition and that?
Yep. How do you maintain your healthy lifestyle?
That's a good
What's
question.
the way? What's the way? How do you maintain it? How do you tell yourself? How do you stick on that track?
I'm trying to answer that myself now. But when I was like locked in, like when I was like, because man, I was crazy heavy before, and then I dropped all the way to 140 something. I think it's having someone with you, keep you accountable. You know, my younger brother was that guy. My older sister was there as well, and my brother-in-law. So there's 4 of us, and so we had a chat, like a group chat, and just being consistent. I think that's the main thing. Jordan Fruin, the previous owner of Westside Fitness, he would always stress consistency. Is the main thing. Like just not big changes, but small changes, but keep the small changes going. That was his hack. Yeah. So I just copy and paste what people say. So those were the 2 things that worked for me, was just consistency and having someone that keeps you accountable. Because I'm trying to do it by myself and with some of the other boys, PJ and whatnot, but it's hard, man. I'm getting old, and like injuries are hurting much more than when I was a bit younger. But yeah, I think just small things and being consistent. I think that'll be the hack. Yo,
Man, nice. Yeah, I'm like also just still battling that like the high percentage of Polynesians around the world are too. So yeah, that's a good question. And what's the hack? My man is yeah, I think for me personally, just being accountable for my own bullshit, you know, around food and just learning what I'm doing now. just educating myself and just trying to teach myself to disconnect from food. You know what I mean? And then how I connect with food is educating myself around the numbers and around what's good fuel, for your body, for your temple, and especially, like Eddie said, we're not getting any younger, but yeah, just keeping myself accountable, and then just having support network groups around, tapping into that as well, and just hearing their encouragement and supporting each other that way. But like I said, accountability starts with you and ends with you at the end of the day. So for me personally, that's what it is. Not only that, but like I said before in other podcasters, I'm learning to try and educate myself in the kitchen, because your first gym is the kitchen. Your first gym starts in the kitchen. And like I said, I had to teach myself and tell myself that many times. It works. It works tremendously. You know what I mean? Off and on sort of thing. So I've lost weight. I've gained weight, but I know how to lose weight too. So what I'm saying is, when I lose weight good, really good. And then, but when I put on weight really good as well. You know what I mean? So that yo-yo effect is kind of like plays with your mind mentally, yeah. So when it's a mental thing, then I tap into those support groups, seeing what their stories are. But hey, we're not the only ones. They're similar. You know what I mean? But I think for me, it's just aiming for better stories when it comes to health and fitness. And like I said, when it comes to the physicality part, I've got injuries, you know what I mean? Last year I had to reattach a tendon within my groin to my knee, and then back up, which was the inner thigh. And then now I'm waiting for a knee construction and a hip construction on my right leg. So that's the orthopedic surgeons that I got to follow the programs. And that's why it's hard, because my mobility is limited. But I force myself, because it's muscle memory, you know what I mean, to go for those walks. And like I said, the physical part for me, for everybody, in my opinion, is easy. But it's that first gym in the kitchen that's really hard. And it comes down to education and educating yourself. So for me, I like to play around with it and not starve yourself. I don't look at it as a diet, but just keeping those numbers and knowing your calorie counts is boom. That's the game changer right there, my man. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, there's a good hacks for that sort of thing. For me, man, I've got this extreme view of, I don't know if it's my own life hack, but I got this extreme view of eating healthy. So, like, every time I see, like, potato chips or something unhealthy, or fish and chips or whatever, McDonald's or whatever, because it's hard, man, when your family eats that sort of thing, and you can't help it. But man, I always think in my head, okay, if I have that chip, I'm gonna die. I have that feeling. I have that thinking. Like, if I eat that, if family got fish and chips, if I eat that, I'm gonna die tomorrow. I think like that because it's right. It's true. Because eventually, get heart problems, a heart attack with that kind of food, man. So you gotta try to eat healthy. So that's one. That's one of them. That's one of them. Just to think extreme. If I eat that. If I eat that marabou, I'm gonna die tomorrow. Also, like, eating healthy, like, always they say always buy food at the supermarket on the outside, because the outside is usually the vegetables and the meat. So meat and veg is the basic. You don't want to be too complicated with a diet. Just make sure you eat healthy, man. Eat a lot of fish, a lot of chicken, meat. You can have red meat now and then, but lots of vegetables, man. Lots of vegetables. Try to get those veggies in. Don't worry about the soft drink. Drink water. No more soft drink. See, that's the easy one to do. Just cut the soft drink.
Just
cut
the
sugars
out. Yeah.
Cut the sugars.
Carbs, yeah.
Or sugar free.
Sugar free.
Yeah.
So yeah. Just those are things I think about, and think about your strengths too. When it comes to exercising, what are your strengths? With me, I'm like you, Eddie. I can't exercise by myself. It's too hard.
Yeah.
I don't get motivated. I need a group of people. As long as that group of people is consistent, they meet a time every day, a time of every once a week or twice a week, at the same time every week, and they're gonna be there consistently. I'll be there too.
Yo.
And That's the easiest way for me to do it. I can't do it by myself, man. They say easier to train by yourself at home. Like wake up in the morning, do 20-minute training in the garage. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. It's easy. It sounds easy to do, but man, I don't know. I need someone to do it.
Just a gym partner, you know, just
Yeah.
a partner at least, eh?
Yeah,
Walking
just
partner,
that type of
spotter,
thing.
Yeah,
So
that's so true.
so I think go to your strengths. If that's what you have to do, you gotta work out a schedule that you can do that. But yeah, man, that's my hacks for that. Thanks, boys, for sharing that.
Nice.
Hopefully, someone out there can take that in and implement it for the New Year's resolution.
Yo,
Take it
New Year's
take it
resolution
in.
coming up.
yo, it's coming up. It's coming up.
All right, boys. Looking at the time, man, we've done almost 2 hours. So
Yo.
shall we wrap this up? Let's do some last words. Let's go, Chucky.
Last words, yeah. I mean, your best version. I mean, we just spoke about, you know, some encouragement there. Your best version and your dreams and aspirations and everything that you dream to be or want to be, and even your goals. You know, whether it's education, sports, or just being healthy, with everything and above. Always remember, all those goals are achievable. The only problem is it's on the other side of fear. So in order to achieve those, you must accomplish your fear first. My man.
Nice as well. My last words is it's close to Christmas. It's unfortunate that we've had you know, grievance in my family, my extended family. So man, yeah, just be careful. Be wary of people out there. You know, there's some nutcases around, so be kind. Like, you know, don't antagonize the situation. Be kind, be nice, but be safe. We don't want any more deaths before Christmas. So for all the family out there, man, just take it easy. Just think, hey, it's nearly Christmas. Think of the food. Think of the family. Think of the laughs. So, yeah. So when it comes to Christmas, please drink responsibly, and yeah, and hopefully we all make it into the new year. Seki.
Yeah, Seki boys. Yeah, man, that's a good one, man. Close to Christmas, so a lot of hopefully no one gets stressed out there with the presents and organizing the family lunch for Christmas Day and yeah, man, because it's like stressful, man. It can be stressful some families, like especially when you got two families to go to on their Christmas Day. The wife's family, your family. How do you negotiate?
Yeah.
You don't want that to clash. So yeah, a lot of decisions and you know, workarounds for that. So hopefully no one gets stressed out there and enjoy their Christmas. And yeah, man, have a happy New Year. 2006 is gonna come, and EOTC will be back for 26, but we got one more episode to go next week. Lady will be back. I'll be back to doing my job producing. So thanks, guys, for jumping on.
Yep.
Always been a pleasure to have you guys on the Empty Out the Clip. Give your opinions on what's going around in the world of Pacifica in New Zealand and what affects us. So yeah, man, always enjoyed to have a chat and listen to you guys chat on that. All right, boys. That's all for us, man. I'm gonna take it out of here. So
Christmas cheer.
So yeah, man. You know what it is, boys. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Christmas times.